Hey guys, so this is the green spotted pufferfish. Now, a lot of pet stores sell this guy as a freshwater fish, but he can actually be a brackish water fish and a saltwater fish. In the wild, they go from they're born in freshwater and then they move in and out of brackish and saltwater. Now, if you were to buy one of these guys from, say, your local fish store and you kept him in freshwater, he would live in there for a few years, but eventually, where did he go? He's a fast guy. Eventually, he would die. Now, in order to keep them alive, you have to get them either into brackish water or salt water, which this is a fully saltwater tank. So, these guys they're really neat fish. They come up to you, they're really happy. Walmart sells them, and I feel bad for every fish at every green spotted puffer at Walmart because they are so malnourished and torn up, and they do not treat their fish right. I got this at a local pet store, and he was already acclimated to salt water, so I could throw him straight into my saltwater tank. He's a cool addition because he moves around. He's never in one spot. They're actually like a little puppy dog. Let me see if I put my finger up here. He'll see it eventually. And he actually wants to know what my finger is. And he'll come up here. He's like, what is that? What is that? What is that? What is that? They're really cool fish though. Not figure eight. Green spotted puffers. Figure eights are going to be my next ones. And they can be saltwater as well, so I'm going to throw them in a saltwater tank. But this guy is really neat. Now, one thing about these guys is they have these teeth that grow and grow and grow. They constantly grow like a beaver's teeth would. And so you have to give them hard foods or frozen foods or, hard krill. I give them snails and things like that to grind those teeth down. Otherwise, you have to grind them down, and it'll get so bad that they won't be able to eat at a certain point. So definitely, if you want to have one, do some research. They do need some harder foods to eat. They are aggressive eaters. As you can see, I got a bunch of other fish. I got a clownfish. I got 2 clownfish in here and all this, and he doesn't bother any of them. So he's actually pretty mild-mannered. Now, if you get 2 of these guys, they can go after each other. So if you want to get more than one puffer fish, my advice is to get them both together as juveniles. This guy is he'll I think fully grown he can get 3-4 inches, maybe a little bit bigger, so he's a little bit more than a juvenile. So if I threw another one in there, he would probably eat it up. People say these guys are mean. I have had them kill fish before, but it's fish that are a lot smaller than them. If you put them in with fish that are about their same size, they don't mess with them, and the other fish know not to mess with this puffer fish. So just make sure that you get one appropriate to the size of the fish you have in your tank. As you can see, this guy moves around a lot. He is all over the place. He's looking for food. He hasn't been fed yet, but he'll literally eat out of my hand. He's a really neat fish. So pufferfish, I love them to death. I'm about to get some figure eights. Hopefully they're ordered. I'm just waiting for them to come in. And when I get those guys, they're my favorite pufferfish. I ordered 3 of them, and hopefully I get all 3 juveniles so I can throw them all in together and have 3 figure 8 pufferfish in one tank. We'll see how that goes. But these guys, they're really neat. Do not buy them at Walmart, please. They're just gonna die on you. Try to find a reputable fish store that has them. This guy was fat and eating before I bought him. The lady at the pet store fed him, and he was eating. The ones at Walmart are just skinny and sucked in and malnourished, and they're not good fish. So make sure you get one that is healthy and they will be great fish to have. He likes a lot of frozen food over dry, like fish flake. He doesn't want the fish flake. So you got to have some frozen food. He takes a little bit more maintenance, but he's a really cool fish. I would recommend him to anybody that is a little bit more advanced. You can put him in a tank by himself just to be safe. I've had him for quite a while. I've had puffer fish. I know, you know, the sizes they need to be to get along with other fish. So when I saw this guy, I knew he was the right size for the fish that I had to throw in here, that he wasn't going to mess with them, and he hasn't nipped at a single fish in here. So they're pretty neat. Green spotted puffers. Don't buy them at Walmart. But if you're into puffers, get one. They're pretty neat. Don't keep them in fresh water. You can keep them in fresh water for a little while, but definitely acclimate them into brackish water and then eventually salt water. That's the only way, because in fresh water their kidneys don't work right. As juveniles they're fine, but once they start growing up, their kidneys aren't working right. They need that salt, I guess. I'm not a scientist, but they need that salt in their bodies, and it shortens their lifespan if you keep them in fresh water. So definitely keep them in brackish at least, if not salt water. This is my new saltwater tank. Hopefully some of these corals will start growing out. This guy I got at Petco, and I got him for really cheap. That one in the back's dead. I got him for free. I was hoping to save him, but he's dead. This guy I got for cheap. These little tentacles on him weren't coming out at all, so they were about to chuck them out in the trash, and I threw them in my tank. Now the tentacles are coming out, and eventually these green fingers will start coming out of those, and he'll look really neat. I got a little bubble coral there. That's my favorite. He's starting to get a little big. As you can see, when I got him, that orange line on the bottom was how big he is, so he's definitely growing. Hopefully his tank will get up and going pretty quick. Definitely got some corals growing. I got some back in there. I don't know if it'll zoom in on those really good. Green spotted puffers. They're cool fish to have. They're not my favorite puffer, like I said. I picked him up because he was the last one, and the lady at the fish store convinced me. But when I get my figure eights and I show you them, you'll see why they're my favorites. And I love them to death. And I had one for over 2 years. He was my favorite fish ever. So I'm gonna try 3 this time. I only had 1 the first time, and he was alone in a tank. I'm gonna try 3 this time, and we'll see how that goes. But green spotted puffers, don't buy them at Walmart. Find a reputable shop, a reputable fish store to get them at. Make sure they're eating before you buy them. If they won't feed them before you buy them, don't buy it. Plain and simple. So if you have any questions about green spotted puffers, let me know. Please subscribe if you haven't. I have some upcoming DIY videos for y'all. Let me see if I can get a close up on this guy. Come here, stop moving. See, he's a pretty fish. They're really neat. They're almost like dogs, people say. You know, they're like a dog. They'll come up and greet you. They're neat. So definitely try them out. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you on the next one.